Welcome to AMF Boxing. I'm giving my reaction to Anderson Silva versus Chavez Jr. It was an 8-round fight. It could have gone on longer. I wanted it to be a 10-round or a 12-round fight. Anderson Silva had great head movement. He had great footwork. He looked like Muhammad Ali back in the day. He did really well. He was leaning up against the ropes. He was wading Chavez in, showboating. It was a really entertaining fight. It was a lot better than I expected it to be. Anderson Silva was 40-odd years old. He's not in his prime, but that fight he looked like a prime Anderson Silva. I've watched a lot of UFC. I know of Anderson Silva. I know he's got good head movement and good distance, good timing, good reflexes, and he showed all those attributes in the fight against Chavez Jr. I was really happy to see Anderson Silva get the win, actually, because a lot of people thought if it was going to go to the judges that Chavez was going to get it. But I thought that Anderson did more than enough to get the win. I think he won 6 rounds of the 8 rounds. I gave Chavez 2 rounds maximum. That's being generous. Chavez could have done more. He didn't look himself. He looked slow. He looked like he didn't have timing. He didn't look like he was throwing his punches from out of range. A lot of the times Anderson had his face leaning out like that with his hands down, and Chavez just went throwing. I don't know if that's because he thought he was going to get countered by Anderson Silva, because Anderson does that quite a lot. He'll lean back, put his hands down, and as soon as you throw, he leans back again and then throws his right hand, which is won him a lot of fights in his career. He also leans back and throws the check left hook. So I don't know what Chavez's game plan was going into it, but it seemed to not work from straight off the bat. I thought Anderson was going to tire around 3 or 4 rounds, but he looked good through the whole 8 rounds. It'd be nice to see who Anderson goes up against next. It'd be nice to see him go against someone who's around his own age, you know, like say like a Mike Tyson or a Roy Jones Jr. or even Chavez Sr. It'd be good to see him go in against those sort of people. I think for his 3rd boxing match, I think that was, but spending most of his career in UFC, he literally looked like he'd been boxing for years. I was so impressed with how he was moving around the ring. He looked comfortable. He didn't seem to be under pressure. He was willing to take punches, to give some punches. He had Chavez up against the ropes at times. I think a lot of people expected Chavez to walk through Anderson Silva. I didn't think he was going to walk through him, but I thought it was going to be a tougher fight for Anderson than what it was. From watching Chavez's fights before, he likes to get on people's chests. He likes to throw combinations. He normally sets his punches up as well. He's never had good footwork. I think he's got okay footwork. But in that fight last night, not last night, a couple of nights ago, he honestly looked like he had the worst footwork. He looked slow. So I don't know if he had an off night or if Anderson Silva made him hesitant and not been able to set his feet in the right positions, because Anderson was always like moving around. So maybe Chavez needs to work on cutting the ring off a little bit better and fight going backwards as well. And feints. I felt like he was missing a lot of feints. Like when he was throwing his punches, he weren't throwing any feints at all. He was literally just throwing a right hand, left hook, right hand. And Anderson could see that coming, and he blocked a lot of the punches that Chavez thrown. I didn't see the scorecards, or I haven't seen the numbers of punches that were thrown and landed, and stuff like that. The fight stats. I've literally just watched the fight. I went to bed straight after. As soon as the fight was over, I just went straight to bed because I was so tired. I would have done a live stream for that, but I only had my phone with me. I didn't have my laptop. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. You can go ahead and do so. This is AMF Boxing. I am out.